real pressure in society. Your family, taking care of business, going through rough times. But I do think I was hearing something yesterday. Mike McCarthy was talking about Dak faces unbelievable pressure. So I want to start with that. Unbelievable pressure. Mike McCarthy, Sirius XM, and he says what Dak is going through, being the Cowboys quarterback, it is unprecedented. Endure? Never seen anything like it? Fact. Dak is now the longest tenured quarterback in the NFL. He's an old guy. He's a veteran, and we hold them to harsher standards. Currently in the NFL, all the best quarterbacks, all of them, no exceptions, are younger than Dak. Josh Allen, Burrow, Lamar, Mahomes, Herbert, Jalen Hurts, Tua, Trevor Lawrence, Lamar Jackson, and Jared Goff, barely. All of them. Add to that, C.J. Stroud looks really good as a rookie. Brock Purdy, toe-to-toe twice with Dak, looks as good or better. And we have 2 A-plus prospects coming out of college. So expecting more from Dak is not unreasonable. We are harder on veteran quarterbacks who get the bag and don't win much in the playoffs. Dak is almost a decade into his career. He has the same number of playoff wins as Ryan Tannehill and one more than Daniel Jones. One more. He has had 2 offensive head coaches, an incredibly supportive GM/owner. His offensive lines in his career have averaged top 5. This year, they're second. PFF. I looked up the defenses in Dak's tenure. They average 5th. Weapons always has 1, sometimes more. Support, weapons, elite O-lines, top 5 defenses, and the same number of playoff wins as Ryan Tannehill. This is not a star on the helmet issue. Jimmy Garoppolo got to a Super Bowl. A Super Bowl. That's off in the distance for Dak and Dallas. A Super Bowl. They shipped him out of town. Jared Goff got to a Super Bowl. Number 1 pick. Shipped him out of town. Dak has 2 playoff wins in 8 years and has unbelievable support. Owner, head coach, GM, city, franchise. Monday night's performance should be what you get for an 8-year, tenured veteran who is among the highest paid players in the entire sport, America's biggest domestic sport. Dak's one of the highest paid stars. 1 more win than Daniel Jones. And the Giants are rebuilding. Dak has never been with a rebuilding Cowboy team. His first year as a rookie, it was the top-rated O-line in the sport. Zeke, I believe, led the league in rushing. Hall of Famer at tight end, if I recall back then. Weapons, offensive coaches. Didn't say they were the best, but outside of Mahomes, who does have the best offensive coach? Nobody's unrealistic. He is the longest tenured quarterback in the league, paid like it. Couple of wild card playoff wins. That's it. That is not a star on the helmet issue. And the idea that he faces pressure, come on, man, quarterback in the NFL? I mean, outside of Mahomes, I live in Los Angeles. They're blaming Herbert, not the head coach, for the Chargers' losses. Seriously. Every reasonable fan knows it's not Herbert. He's getting blamed for him. Stafford gets dragged weekly anytime he throws a pick, and he's got a ring. Not a star on the helmet issue. I like Dak. But this is, you get the bag. Y'all wanted him to have the bag. This comes with the bag. We're not bagging on Brock Purdy because he loses a game. We're not paying him anything. C.J. Stroud's going to go 500 or worse. We're not paying him anything. 8 years, got the bag. You know, wind, as they say, blows a lot harder at the top of the mountain. All right, so I saw this story. You know I like the NBA. Don't talk a lot about it until we get to February. starts next week. Really interesting at the top of the NBA tree. Some really big moves for the Bucks, the Celtics. I can't wait. James Harden yesterday skipped practice. His coach said there's really no explanation. So the NBA deserves all the heat they get for James Harden. If you coddle kids or employees, pro athletes, this is what you get. The NFL did not coddle an aging Antonio Brown. See ya, we'll be fine without you. The NFL did not coddle an aging Des Bryant. Cowboys said, been fun, see ya. James Harden is inarguably a regressing player. Nobody would dispute that. And he's pulled this 3 or 4 times. Don't want to work out, don't want to show up, don't want to go to practice. I'm not anti-player. Two things are always true with me. I'm for protecting the player's body. I've said in the NBA, I don't like back-to-backs. I think the playoff series should go 3 games first round, 5 next 2, 7 finals. We don't need more games to determine who's best. Fewer games, players healthier, have more juice and energy, better for the fans, better for the player's body. I am also for NFL guys all playing on grass where it's possible. NFL, less hitting in practice. I was on that 10 years ago. Second thing, I'm in favor of players requesting trades. Not all the time, but Robert Sarver of the Suns, Donald Sterling of the Clippers. There's some bad Dan Snyder, Washington. There are bad owners out there, and there are bad GMs out there. Like every other industry, 10% is great, another 15% pretty good, 15% competent, and dreck, the bottom 50%. Owners, GMs, coaches, players, right? So, I am for protecting players' bodies, and absolutely, some players or environments. I mean, the Chicago Bears have never gotten quarterback right. You can't blame just Justin Fields for this stuff. But what I'm opposed to is petulant, chronic, unreasonable diva behavior. Ben Simmons, indifferent. Kyrie, petulant. Harden, quitting if he doesn't get his way. So I'm not a player hater. I'm a brat, indifferent diva hater. And so the NBA deserves all the heat they got for Simmons, Kyrie, and James Harden. The NFL, when you're a regressing player, Cowboys had a tough decision to make. They didn't have anybody in the room as good as Dez. Steelers offense, not the same without Antonio Brown. But they wouldn't coddle. That's what bothers me. I get a little diva. I've supported Aaron Rodgers. I get a little diva. I kind of like a little diva. I get it. Tom Brady goes to Tampa. Get me a right tackle. Get me Gronk. I get it. I don't have a problem in the NBA. LeBron doesn't want to play with young players. Get me veterans who can play in the playoffs. I totally support him with that. Lonzo Ball, love you. Get me a veteran. Kyle Kuzma, love you. Get me a veteran. I support that. But I can spot diva. I can spot brat. I can spot petulant. And I think Adam Silver too often defends it with, well, they're emotional players. You know, my wife cheated on me. Well, she's emotional. I mean, there's just certain things you can't use, well, they're emotional, as an out. All these players are emotional. I'm emotional. J-Mac's emotional. My wife's emotional. Your wife's emotional. Our kids are emotional. Still got to show up to work. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.